have for dinner tonight?
Pork chops. So everyone can tell I'm a huge Simpsons fan. I love The Simpsons. I honestly have not watched the newer episodes. I really don't watch too much TV with newer stuff, but the old ones, oh my gosh, I love them. They are so deeply rooted in my heart because I grew up with that. That was like the show. I think it aired in 87. I was born in 87 or something like that. But I grew up, I remember sitting in my parents' room with the small tiny TV, and we'd sit there and watch it. And even to this day, like, I still remember the miniature golf episode. That's one of my favorites. So I'm excited to draw Homer Simpson. Oh yeah! I hope I capture his pose, his funniness, and just his character. Really love this show. So before we start, I want to offer another huge tip. The tip of the day. It's time for the tip of the day. So it's time for the tip of the day here. Basically what I'm going to stress is, no matter what you're drawing, lately I've been doing simpler drawings, like Brian Griffin, just simpler in terms of they're not as complex, Snorlax. The point I'm getting at is, even with simpler drawings, cartoons, any type of cartoon or anything, you still want to start with the basic guiding principles of drawing. And what I mean by that is, and I'm going to show in the video of course, but I like to express this idea before I start, otherwise I don't draw as good. But what I mean is, you want to always start with a rough sketch first. You always want to start with guidelines. You always want to start with proportions. You just want to put something down that's not the finished product. So always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. Because I remember when I was used to draw when I was younger, like if I was drawing Homer Simpson now, I'd probably start with the outline and just outline everything. But that's not what you want to do. You want to get out of that habit of maybe drawing outlines. And you want to keep, like I just said, the same approach. No matter how simple something is, you still want to keep the same approach of roughing it out, getting proportions down, doing gestures, just whatever you can to get to that final result. And that will help you so much. It's such a huge tip. It's something, I'm still wrapping my mind around. But always start with a rough sketch. Never start with finished lines. Never start with anything final. That's the huge thing, and let's do this. Alright, so I love this pose we're going to draw here. It's classic Homer Simpson. Oh yeah, let's do this. So to start with, I'm going to start with just basic shapes. And you don't want to make things too complex. And also I recommend using B pencil. I really don't recommend, I'm going to make that a little lower. I don't recommend using a mechanical at first. I like the way these pencils feel. But all I'm going to do is sketch in. Like I said, don't be nervous when you're doing a sketch. I'm just sketching in a basic head shape. See how it's like just a little, almost like a cartoon thumb. And as it gets down to here, the neck gets a little skinnier. Like I said over and over, I always stress, don't worry if it doesn't look right at first. You're just getting a basic form. But see that little head shape? And there's almost a circle shape. See how it's a little less than, like you can make a line there that divides it. It's all up to you how you want to break it down. Whatever works for you, whatever, like I said, whatever works for you, whatever clicks. Like for me, it just clicks to sketch in, almost like a balloon. Think of that shape as like almost like I said, a water balloon with a little thing at the end. But see that, and then his eyes. Eyes are huge. But the beard kind of goes down, and you'll have the nose here. But the eyes itself, they take up a good part of the head. So see how big they are, and one overlaps the other. So like that. And also, like I always say, keep it in your own style. And I'm going to make the top of the head a little bigger. See what's going on. You can extend things. You always want to keep proportions though when you're doing it. I kind of see just a basic outline, and then for the neck here, he's got the sharp. I'm doing as if it was an actual human in terms of anatomy, and then like the upper chest hair. See how it's got that shape? And then the bottom, you can just use a simple circle. And something to keep in mind, proportionally, which I just realized now, that's why I'm changing. Proportionally, the body, the head is pretty big. It's not like realistic in terms of a person's head being 7 times the body. You know, just roughing things in like that. You know, and then the ear sits here. And what I was going back to saying is you want to do your own style. In other words, you want to make it look like Homer, but you kind of want to add your own jazz to it. I don't know if that makes sense, but like with any drawing you do, and that's something I kind of, you know, that's what a lot of the people say they like my style, because, you know, I'm sticking to the basic forms of what things look like, but I'm also adding my own kind of proportions. Like I might exaggerate things a little more, or I might make things a little slender here or there. Just, you know, I'm not sticking to the actual reference I'm looking at. I'm changing up a little. I'm just going with what I feel looks good, whatnot. But see the basic thing, and then the 2 shoulders that just jut out, and right here is where the V-neck collar pops out. I'm just making little lines. There's so many ways you could go about this, but all I'm doing is making lines. Then the arms, just real simple tube shapes, really. But notice the big thing is they get a little slender, which is something that's also very true with anatomy. Your arms will get slender towards the wrist. Then you start out big, and notice, like I said, and they're still fairly wide throughout. As they get to the end, make just a line, simple line shape like that. And where the shirt curves in, there's a little upward curve, kind of like that there. Then for the hands, all I'm going to simply do is make these little shapes, you know, like a little, see how it's just a little simple shape just to show areas. And that's what I was, oh, what I was getting at is, and that's something I meant to say and I just got sidetracked, huge thing is just go about it any way you feel comfortable with. You know, like I said, where I started with drawing the face, there's so many ways you could start. You could start with doing gesture lines, you know, the lips. You could start with marking lines. You can divide it into half, put the eyes, where the eyes sit, maybe half of the face. You know, there's so many ways you could do it. So just don't, even while you're doing this, I advise, maybe try a different way. You know, follow what I'm doing, but also maybe try a different way. Try to use shapes all throughout, or whatever you feel comfortable with. But that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the channel, is teaching you. You know, there's so many different ways you can draw. There's no set way. As long as you get the proportions right, and you know you capture the character that way. But now let's work on the face. The eyes are huge, and you can see, like if you made a center line, imagine there's a line between the top half there and the bottom half. You know, that's where eyes sit on general anatomy. They're halfway in the face. So I'm just going to erase that. And his eyes are huge. That's something to keep in mind. So you can even make them bigger. But they're almost like perfect circles. So try to sketch that in. See, I'm just sketching that. And then the nose comes out. This is very important with the Simpsons. This is like their characteristic. Nose comes out, and it never crosses the side cheek of the plane. You see, it just comes out like that. And then it follows along the beard here. It's a little wider. Make sure you keep the nose wide. Throughout the whole nose, it's completely wide. And like I said before, holy crap, it is, to be honest, sometimes doing simpler characters is so much harder because, and this is something I mentioned in a lot of my older videos, because it's harder because it's like if you make one little mistake on a line or a curve, the whole character just looks weird. But then you can see side of the cheek here, the facial muscle. Then for the mouth, you just want to come in, the beard, the whole beard. See how we just started with that simple beard shape? And now it's like that. I love this pose. I was going, woohoo, woohoo. I can't do it good. I loved it. Oh, I love Homer Simpson, man. What a classic character. Then, you know, it's almost like a little 6 within there. Now I'm just touching up, and I'm going to go back and redefine lines. You know, like it's messy now. And the ear comes out right about there. The ear sits on the face. Then basically you bring those lines up where the head is. And I love The Simpsons. The Simpsons are amazing. Like, I have such a, I don't know how to put it, I'm trying to describe it, but see how just that little part there and then the eye. I have such, I guess you could say, a sentimental feeling with The Simpsons because, you know, I grew up watching it, and it was one of those shows where I'd sit in my parents' bedroom, you know, and just watch it on the little TV there. And, you know, you never fully understand how good something is when you're that young, but you know you like it. And so it's kind of amazing going back and watching the classic old episodes. But see, that's pretty much it there. And let's define the rest. All you gotta do is follow those lines we made. See how the shirt kind of cuts in like that, cuts out here. Especially where the neck goes, it cuts out. Then it comes back, jets in, and it comes out, there's a little collar. And then this line comes down. And basically now that you got all that, you just follow simple lines. And I'm going to erase the guidelines, but like for here, see, you're just following simple shapes. And make sure you keep your lines pretty nice and clean. Nice and smooth. And for the hand, big fingers. They got the, remember, 3 thumbs like that. Let's say, and the fingers themselves, you might want to sketch it in, but like there's one here. And see how it just kind of curves? And it's always important when you're doing it, you want to keep it simple, because you know the hands are simple in terms. Let's say there, then you got another one, then one more here, like that. Then it comes in. Now I'm going to use the B pencil for the whole drawing because I like the way it feels. Then that arm, I always kind of retouch things. Make those lines thick. And same on this side. Like that. And for the shirt, it just kind of curves down real simple. This line curves in front. Like that. Like that. And then we've got the little belly button here. So the shirt, it's just like a little 6. And you can see if you were to make a line down here like anatomy, it'd sit about right there. Like that. And basically, you know, you're good to go. You got the drawing in, and then I'll show the eyes. And this arm, same thing. And you can notice, just from preference, and that's what I was going back to when I was talking before. His arms probably are a little fatter from the series, are probably a little wider. But just like I said, artistic license, I wanted them to be a little, you know, I want it to be a little slender so he kind of has a more motion feeling. That was just my preference. That's the point I'm getting at is, you know, keep it, you want to draw, but you want to have fun and you want to create your own kind of image while you're doing it. And that's always something to keep in mind. The same thing here. Notice how this finger just starts there. Really take your time roughing the fingers, but it kind of curves under. See that just curves under, and then this has a little curve down, where it's kind of like that. And another. And we're going to add value and stuff at the finish thing. But see how that got the two hands in. Then ultimately just the eyes, the hair thing. Make the outlines dark. Like that. Let's see how I'm doing. And very important, the pupils are not lined up. You want to put one little pupil here. Oh! This is the part I always love. Adding one little dot completely changes everything. And make sure this one's kind of like that. So he's got that goofy look on his face. Go! Go! Why, you little... Oh, yeah, baby! And then all you got to do left is erase all your guidelines, really finish it up. And the ear here, the ear just, it's a little simple line, like that. And another line curving down. And don't forget his hair. He's got the little tiny hair. He's going bald, but at least he's got, oh, yeah, baby! And then a simple M here. The M kind of just rests fairly big. I'm like up, down, up, and then down again. See how close it is to the eye? And then the two little, very important you get this right. Two little things here. Like that. And this one goes behind it. Oh man. Oh! Woo-hoo! This is it. Homer Simpson, everyone. Thank you for watching. Share your drawings with me on my Facebook link below. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in the beard, erase the guidelines, and add some value. Ultimately, you know, that's the basic drawing there. And thanks, everyone.